There are moments in life when people will try to put limits on you. They will try to measure your worth by your past, your mistakes, your background, your education, your bank account, or even by their own narrow opinions of who they think you are. But let me tell you something today. God doesn't need permission from people to bless you. He doesn't need the approval of your boss, your critics, your family, or your enemies. When God decides to elevate you, no force in hell, no system on earth, and no opinion of man can stop it. When the Creator of heaven and earth stretches out his hand of favor, doors will open that no man can shut. Blessings will find you in places where you thought you were forgotten. And the best part is this: God doesn't check with your haters. He doesn't consult your past. He doesn't ask for permission. He blesses you because he has already declared it over your life. People will always have an opinion about who you are and what you are capable of doing. Some will measure you by where you came from. Others will label you by mistakes you made in the past. And a few may even try to confine you to their own low expectations. But here is the good news. God's blessing does not need their approval. His favor is not tied to their opinions. His plan for your life is not bound by their limited vision. When God chooses to bless you, he does it in such a way that every negative word spoken against you becomes powerless. Have you noticed how people love to put labels on others? They say, "You're too young," or "You're too old," or "You don't have the right connections." But God has a way of tearing off every man-made label and replacing it with his own. When he blesses you, he doesn't look at what they said about you. He looks at what he spoke over you before you were even born. People may call you unqualified, but God calls you chosen. They may call you broken, but God calls you redeemed. They may call you insignificant, but God calls you his masterpiece. Sometimes the very ones who doubt you are the same ones who end up watching God raise you. They expected you to fail, but you stood. They thought you would give up, but you kept moving. They predicted your downfall, but God was writing your comeback. And when his blessing comes, it silences the critics because it proves that what they thought about you doesn't matter. They don't have the final word. God does. Think about how God works. He doesn't just bless you privately, he blesses you publicly. Scripture tells us he prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemies. That means he wants the same people who looked down on you, who whispered behind your back, who laughed at your struggle, to see you standing strong, walking in victory, living in favor. Why? Because your story is not just about you, it's about him showing that his power overrides human judgment. And let me remind you, if people could stop your blessing, they would have done it already. If they could control your destiny, they would have locked the door and thrown away the key. But God is the one who holds the key, and he opens doors no man can shut. When he declares you blessed, no gossip, no rumor, no lie, no rejection can cancel his word. His yes cancels out every no spoken against you. Maybe you've been overlooked. Maybe others got the promotion, the recognition, or the applause while you were ignored. Don't let that shake your faith. God specializes in promoting the overlooked. He delights in elevating the one others rejected. He uses the stone the builders rejected and makes it the cornerstone. So don't worry about who counted you out. God is about to count you in. Sometimes the very thing people thought would disqualify you is what God will use to glorify Himself through you. They thought your past would bury you, but God used it to strengthen you. They thought your mistakes would define you, but God turned them into testimonies. They thought your weakness would discredit you, but God let His strength be made perfect in you. That is why human opinion is too small to define divine purpose. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them whisper. Because while they are busy underestimating you, God is preparing to demonstrate His power in your life. And when He blesses you, the same mouths that spoke against you will be silenced, because His blessing overrides every opinion, every label, and every limitation people tried to put on you. Many of us have been made to believe that we are waiting on people to move before we can step into what God has promised us. We think that if someone doesn't open a door, we can't walk through it. We think that if someone doesn't approve us, we cannot move forward. But child of God, let me tell you this: you are not waiting on them, you are waiting on Him. His timing is perfect. And when He decides to move in your life, He doesn't need to send out a request for approval. It may look like people have the power to delay you, but in reality, they are only players in a script already written by God. They cannot hold back what heaven has released. Their silence cannot stop your sound. Their rejection cannot cancel your assignment. You don't need their green light, because God Himself is the one who sets the time and season of your blessing. When He says it's time, no one can put it on hold. We often confuse delay with denial. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Sometimes God is aligning things behind the scenes, preparing you for the weight of the blessing. And when it arrives, it will not be late. It will not be early. It will be right on time. That's why you cannot allow frustration or impatience to make you think someone else is in control of your future. God is the author of your story, not them. Look back over your life. Haven't there been moments where you thought it was over, only to discover God had another chapter? Times when people walked away and you thought it would break you, but it only pushed you into your purpose. That's because God's timing isn't dependent on their presence. He doesn't check with the people who left you. He doesn't consult the ones who doubted you. He blesses you on His schedule. Sometimes the delay itself is part of the blessing. If you had gotten it too early, you wouldn't have been ready. If you had received it when you wanted it, you might not have been able to carry it. But God, in His wisdom, holds it until the right time. And when the right time comes, no person, no system, no barrier, no gatekeeper can block what God has set in motion. That is why you must stop looking to people for permission to rise. Stop waiting for them to validate what God has already stamped approved in heaven. Stop thinking you need their acceptance before you can step into your assignment. When God says, "This is your season," nothing and no one can reverse it. Their delay cannot cancel your destiny. And here's the truth. When the blessing comes, it comes suddenly. One day you're overlooked, and the next you're promoted. One day you're in the back, and the next you're in the front. One day you're struggling, and the next you're walking in overflow. That's what happens when God's timing collides with your faith. It happens fast, and it happens big, because He doesn't wait for permission. So don't grow weary in the waiting. Don't let the silence fool you. Don't let the seeming delay discourage you, because the moment God declares it is time, nothing in the universe can stop it. His clock cannot be delayed by man's permission. And when it strikes, your blessing will manifest in a way that no one can deny and no one can take credit for, because it was God's timing all along. So hear me today. Stop living small because people don't see your worth. Stop shrinking back because they don't clap for you. Stop hesitating because you think you need their permission. You are not waiting on them. You are waiting on Him. And when He moves, He doesn't check with your enemies. He doesn't consult your critics. He doesn't ask for anyone's approval. He blesses you because He has already called you His own. Lift your head, square your shoulders, and walk boldly into your destiny, because God has already signed your blessing. People may doubt it, systems may resist it, and even you may question it, but heaven has already approved it. And once God has approved it, no man, no devil, no circumstance can cancel it. Remember this: God doesn't need permission to bless you. And when He does, He blesses you in such a way that everyone watching will know this could only be God.